To our breaking news from overnight, a suspect now in custody and a 7-year-old girl who was missing from Zimmerman has been found safe.
Bailey Hurley live right there in Zimmerman, Sherburne County. That's north of the metro with the new details we're just learning about this case. No doubt people relieved to be waking up and hearing that little girl's safe, though, Bailey, this morning.
Absolutely. A nightmare situation that turned out for the better here, Matt and Megan. We know just a few minutes ago, we saw on the Freeborn County jail roster that a man was booked into jail at 1:07 this morning, being held on counts of kidnapping. Freeborn County, of course, where Albert Lee is. The family of this little girl did post on social media that she was taken down to southern Minnesota. Authorities saying that she was found safe at 1 o'clock this morning. So again, the timeline does connect. We have reached out to Freeborn County, though, to confirm if this man who has been booked into jail there is related to this case. The family, though, of this little girl, Matt and Megan, breathing a sigh of relief this morning. The community as well. Take a look at some of these photos. The community celebrating early this morning, late last night, however you want to look at it. Hundreds showed out here bundled up, ready to search and bring that little girl home. So many people showing up, in fact, that officials actually had to ask people to stop coming and instead stay away from the area. We know that this all started late yesterday afternoon, that little girl getting off the school bus at 3:30, then was seen getting into a black sedan. Authorities saying she was found safe nearly 10 hours after she originally went missing. Again, found safe about 1 o'clock this morning. Again, to reiterate, we did see that a man has been booked into jail in the Freeborn County Jail, Freeborn County, down in the Albert Lee area. A man is being booked and held on kidnapping charges. We have reached out to confirm if that man is connected to this case. As soon as we get more details, we'll let you know. Of course, though, number one thing here, that little girl safe with her family this morning. Matt, Megan.
All right, Bailey Hurley live right there in Zimmerman with those new details just coming in about that person under arrest. Bailey, thank you. Vice President J.D. Vance is going to be in Minnesota today, and of course, just as tensions are still high, federal immigration operations continuing on the streets of the Twin Cities.
Brandy Powell joining us here this morning with what we know about the vice president's visit. Brandy.
Matt and Megan, new today, Vice President J.D. Vance will visit Minneapolis to deliver remarks focused on restoring law and order in Minnesota. That's according to the White House press secretary. And while in town, the White House saying the vice president will also hold a roundtable with local leaders and community members. As our news team has reported, ICE agents are actively conducting operations in Minnesota. We've also shown you protests that have happened throughout the state. The visit by Vice President Vance is seen by many as a response to the ongoing ICE surge operations and the public reaction they've generated. Shortly after the shooting of Renee Good in South Minneapolis earlier this month, Vice President Vance was among those White House officials who led the effort to defend the ICE enforcement surge in Minneapolis. Listen.
What we have a responsibility to do is to protect the people who are enforcing the law and protect the country writ large. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you deserve to have the people's laws enforced in the United States of America.
And reports indicate Vice President Vance is also expected to meet with ICE agents to reinforce the White House's support for federal immigration officials. We'll track what happens. Megan?
Brandy, thank you for that. We look forward to hearing more about his visit today. Also happening today in just a few hours, top federal immigration officials, including the commander, Greg Bovino, expected to share an update on the ongoing ICE operations here. This would be his second update in just the last week.
Yeah, it was Tuesday when those federal officials announced they've arrested 3,000 people in the past 6 weeks. They say for a variety of offenses. The update today is at 9 o'clock. Our news team's going to have that covered for you right here on the air, and get the latest with the KSTP app.
Now, this morning, we're also working to learn a little bit more about the U.S. Army ordering dozens of additional active duty soldiers to prepare for a possible deployment to Minneapolis. An Army official confirmed that members are stationed at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. If deployed, the official says that they would support local police and city leaders. Now, as we reported earlier this week, 2 battalions, or about 1,500 soldiers from the 11th Airborne Division in Alaska, have also been placed on alert for possible deployment.
Overnight, our 5 Eyewitness News camera got this video of another crowd of protesters outside of the Graduate Hotel right next to the University of Minnesota on University Avenue. They say that they've believe that ICE agents are staying here at this hotel, and that's why they're demonstrating, protesting outside. Minneapolis police and the Minnesota State Patrol troopers came in here wearing full riot gear and cleared out most of the crowd around midnight. We're working to learn if any arrests were made.
This morning, we're working to learn if any arrests were made after a chaotic video posted to social media shows protesters confronting ICE agents at a South Minneapolis gas station. Homeland Security says that they were trying to use the bathroom, adding that they had to use crowd control measures to disperse a hostile crowd that was spitting, throwing food, and attacking agents. We do know that agents pepper sprayed protesters and that a smoke canister was seen being tossed.
Right about the same time as that clash right there, an appeals court blocked a federal judge's order that was preventing federal agents from arresting or using non-lethal weapons against peaceful protesters. The order also banned those agents from stopping drivers unless there was reasonable suspicion that a person was obstructing law enforcement activities. Again, all of this now on hold because of the block in place. This all stems from the case that the American Civil Liberties Union filed last month on behalf of several protesters.
There is a new memo that was released internally by ICE that suggests that federal agents can rely on administrative warrants to make arrests instead of judicial warrants. What this means is that a judge does not have to sign off for agents to enter a suspect's home.
This is critical because people have been looking for that judge's signature here in these instances. The Department of Homeland Security is insisting there's legal precedent for this, but immigration advocates, experts, they're arguing that this is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Listen.
ICE is saying we're going to blatantly ignore case law from the U.S. Supreme Court that says an independent party must make a decision at the judiciary to issue a warrant, and we're just going to rely on our own warrants signed off by our own people to bust down a door and go into a home.
And on the other side of this, Homeland Security saying in a statement, every illegal alien who DHS serves administrative warrants had full due process and a final order of removal from an immigration judge, adding that the officers issuing these administrative warrants also have found probable cause.
A new autopsy report has been released in the shooting death of Renee Good. She was killed by an ICE agent in South Minneapolis 2 weeks ago now. Lawyers for her family say that an independent pathologist found that Good suffered 3 gunshot wounds, one to her forearm, one to her chest, and a fatal shot to her head. They also say she had a graze wound. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner has not released its findings to the family. Now stay with us here as we continue to track this ongoing federal immigration operation here in our state. From the Vice President's visit today to the investigation into Renee Good's death, we are tracking the developments for you, all of them. And as we get the latest, we'll share it with you on air and all breaking news alerts, of course, across our digital platforms.